Y'all, I've watched people walk away from steady jobs for the promise of the dump truck industry money, and I've also watched people get in and be in major financial trouble afterwards. But the craziest thing is, most of the mistakes could have been avoided if somebody had told them what really happens behind the scenes. So before you spend a red cent on a truck or get your CDL or start a trucking business, it's a few things you might want to hear first. If I could go back and start over, these are some of the lessons that I wish somebody would have told me early on, but don't get me wrong, don't misunderstand me. I love the dump truck industry, and I've owned a dump truck business and made good money in the industry. But social media will have you only seeing the highlight reel and leave out everything else. So today, I'm giving you all sides. The good, the bad, and the stuff that nobody tells you until after you're already in it. One thing I've learned is that people either make trucking sound like the easiest money in the world that you will ever make, or the worst thing that they've ever done in life, right? And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. I see videos all the time where people talking about how they make thousands of dollars a day, but the part that they don't tell you is what happened the next week when their truck broke down, when it rained 3 days in a row, or when a customer didn't pay them. I'm not saying this to try to discourage anybody. I'm saying it because if you're gonna get into the industry, I want you to go in with both eyes open. We'll talk about the good things first, and I'm gonna mix it up a little bit for you. But we're gonna start with the obvious one. And the obvious one is the money can be good. That's why a lot of people are interested in trucking in the first place. The earning potential is definitely one of the biggest advantages. Here's the part that people leave out. Like I mentioned before, just because money comes in doesn't mean money stays in. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. A lot of people think with gross revenue mind and they get excited. Then you figure out your repairs show up, your tires blow out, insurance is due, maintenance. And don't forget fuel and DEF fluid every day, right? That's what's real. So now, that was supposed to be a pro, but let's hop over into the cons. And speaking of reality, everything costs money, okay? Everything. I don't care if you're talking about a truck, trailer, tires, maintenance, permits, insurance, or just some random shit you didn't even know existed, okay? The bills never stop. I remember when I first got into trucking thinking, if I could ever just, get in the truck, I'd be good. Let me tell you something. Getting the truck is the beginning, okay? And that's literally why I wrote my books. That's why I wrote The Everyday Entrepreneur and the Haul Your Way to Success series. I want people to understand what's real in business ownership and trucking. And so I lay out exactly what it looks like before you jump in. So let's get into another pro. What I personally love about the dump truck industry is being home every single day. I have never driven over the road, nor have I ever desired to, because I like being at the house. I like sleeping in my own bed. I like spending time with my little family. Anytime during the week, I can have some sort of personal life. So for me, that's a huge benefit in the dump truck industry. Nobody talks enough about rain in the industry. So it will rain more or less depending on your geographical area, but rain can absolutely ruin your plans, okay? You wake up early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? You're getting ready for work, you get dressed, you're thinking about making money, right? And then you step outside and you realize ain't no work today. Or you could be mid-work and the job just shuts down halfway through. And of course, the reason is it's dangerous, and the especially if there's lightning, but the ground could be too soft to even operate the truck. So I remember days where I was counting on work. I already knew what I was going to be doing with the money, and then it rained. So it absolutely changes the entire day. That's some of the things that people don't understand about the industry. Sometimes you're not losing because you're lazy or you're doing something wrong. It's just that Mother Nature can have other plans. And that's why having a reserve is so important. Please have some cash sitting aside. Now, one thing you won't ever hear me say is that there are zero opportunities in the trucking industry. There absolutely is. Construction ain't going nowhere. Roads still need to be built. Materials still need to be, moved, taken from place to place. And so the opportunity is still there. That's one of the main reasons I still believe trucking can change somebody's life. Another downside is, this is the biggest part that hurts people. A lot of people get into trucking with just enough money to get started. You got to have some money to survive the issues, to survive the problems. Trust me, problems are coming. Not maybe, not if, when. I remember doing a ride along with a guy named Mr. Craig, and he's the one that trained me. And that's one of the major things that he said was about the equipment breaking down. And I didn't quite understand it at the moment until I actually experienced it. And sometimes that can make all the difference. One of the things I love about trucking is that it gives everybody opportunities. People from all different backgrounds can get into trucking, right? Although I went to college on a cheer and a dance scholarship, I still accumulated student debt. And we all know that that is not fun to repay. The beautiful thing about trucking is you don't necessarily need a 4-year degree. You don't need connections. You don't need somebody to hand you an opportunity. You can actually create one. That is just so powerful to me. And it don't cost a lot of money to do it. Social media can make trucking look glamorous and super easy, right? It can also make it look like everybody out here in it is making 6 figures and living happily ever after. But that ain't the truth. That is not always reality. You're gonna have some good days, you're gonna have some bad days. It's days when everything is just gonna go perfectly right, and it's days when you just wonder what's going on at all. Now, before you even jump into a truck, buying a truck, or want to start any type of trucking business, I need you to do something, okay? Go take my free entrepreneur readiness assessment. A lot of people think they're ready for business ownership, but they haven't even really thought about things like cash reserves, risk tolerance, consistency, discipline, or how to handle problems when they show up. The assessment will help you identify some of your strengths and some of the areas you may need to work on before you make like such a huge investment. Go grab it free on my website at JackieAjay.com. And while you're there, don't forget to check out the Everyday Entrepreneur Blueprint and the Haul Your Way to Success series if you're really serious about building a business and starting it the smart way. So I created these resources because I wanted people to learn from some of the lessons that I learned the hard way. Now, after hearing all of this, you might be wondering if I would still recommend the dump truck industry. My answer is proceed with caution, but a resounding yes. Just remember to keep your expectations realistic, okay? Don't come into the trucking industry thinking it's easy and it won't be any challenges. Come into it educated and prepared. Make sure you understand both the opportunities and the risks. Now, I want to hear from you guys. If you're already in the trucking industry, what's one of the things that you wish somebody would have told you before you got started? And if you're thinking about getting into trucking after hearing these pros and cons, do you still want to do it? Drop it in the comments below. I'll see you soon.